Hi, it's me, your host of The Unexpected Detour, where in life detours are inevitable. Today's episode is called The Waiting Room. And as I go along, you'll understand why I called it the waiting room. Sometimes the waiting room is not just a place inside of a hospital. Sometimes it becomes a place where fear, memory, faith, and healing all sit together at the same time. Well, recently, yesterday, let's be precise, I went to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center for my 6-month follow up appointment and ultrasound. As I sat there waiting, I noticed two children who were battling cancer. My heart immediately broke. In that moment, I silently prayed for those children and their parents because no parent should ever have to watch their child walk through something so difficult. As I looked around the waiting room, I realized something. Every person sitting there was carrying something unseen: fear, hope, questions, gratitude, anxiety, strength, faith. Then it was my turn to see my doctor. Well, that appointment went well. I was told I would remain on esomesitane for 2 years, which esomesitane is to control the hormones of the breast cancer type I had. So that means I had 2 more years to go, and that means I'll be done in 2028. My doctor did compliment me on always being upbeat and maintaining a positive attitude. I shared with her a conversation I recently had with a doctor I interviewed on my podcast. I asked him if two people could be diagnosed with the same disease and yet handle it differently. And he told me yes. Two people can have the same exact diagnosis and the outcome could be different. And he explained to me, because through the podcast, he said the mindset has a lot to do with it, and how you approach it can make a tremendous difference in how people move through treatment. I told her that his words stayed with me because that was exactly how I approached my journey. I didn't know where I was going, but I remained upbeat. And then it was time for this ultrasound appointment. Now I want you to listen. If you've ever heard my other podcast, I thought I had a medical degree, which my mother let me know I didn't have one. And already I had convinced myself they were checking the right breast because that was the side where I had the biopsy 6 months ago. So as I lay on the table, the technician said, "Raise your left arm." Immediately I said, "Shouldn't I raise my right arm?" She calmly responded, "No, we need to make sure the left side is okay." Then she said something that instantly pulled me backwards emotionally. "Please don't get dressed after before the doctor reads this, because you don't know if she may need to do something more." In that moment, I felt like 2017 all over again. The mammograms, the sonograms, the waiting, the uncertainty, the fear. Suddenly, my mind began flashing back to the beginning of the breast cancer journey. And isn't it amazing how quickly fear can revisit us? Even after treatment, even after progress, even after healing begins, fear has a way of knocking on the door again. But as I sat there, something inside me spoke louder than fear. I asked myself, If I trusted God throughout every surgery, every treatment, every difficult moment, why am I not trusting Him now? That question stopped me. I realized I could not allow fear to speak louder than my faith. So I sat up on the table or the bed, whatever you want to call it, and I prayed. I asked God to cover me just as He had done before. The anticipation was nerve wracking, but instead of allowing my thoughts to spiral, I focused on God. A little while later, the technician returned. She said, "Okay, Francis, I'll see you in 6 months for your yearly mammogram." At that moment, relief filled the room. All I could think of was the power of prayer works. And tonight, I want to leave you with with this reminder. Sometimes healing is not just physical. Sometimes healing is returning to the place where fear once entered your life and realizing you survived it before. Fear may revisit us, but God's presence never leaves us. Thank you for joining me on the unexpected detour. We're in life, detours are inevitable, but you never have to walk them alone. I am Francis. Until next time, keep walking.